Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Fern. I'm Danny and today this video is going to be on exactly how much it's cost me to own the Evo VI in regards to buying it, what I've had to spend to get it to the condition you saw in the last video. I've got every receipt, as you can see. This is my service history that I've created for the car. There's some serious money's worth of receipts here and stuff, which is a bit scary when you tot it all up. I keep spreadsheets for all my cars and stuff. So let's get into the video now and show you how much it's cost me to own and maintain this car over the past 3.5 years, nearly 4 years that I've owned it. So when I bought this car in 2017, the total cost of it imported with all the tax, fees and all that stuff was £9,080. So before the car even landed, the first thing I bought was some Evolution side decals, which were £5.69. Unfortunately, the guy who sold me these off eBay doesn't seem to do them anymore, and these were the best quality ones I could find, and they weren't the dearest either. They were just, the ink wasn't see-through. They were a good solid printed decal. It took me ages to end up putting them on, but I just kept them in the folder anyway, and I do think they make a nice difference to the car. When I bought the car from auction in Japan, it was missing its rear Lancer badge, so I bought a new one of them. I think I might have bought that off Gear Talk. That were £55. With the car coming from Japan, it didn't have a rear fog light, so I had to buy 2 little rear fog light switches from Whole Foods. I might have got them off eBay actually. They were £1.98. Also on eBay, a guy was selling some Aussie wheel graphics, because I thought if I ever get the wheels refurbished at the time, I'm going to need a set of them. I only got them because I wanted to redraw them myself. They turned out being the wrong ones anyway. They were the wrong size, but they were £4.24. The car had Lexus style rear lights on it, which I didn't think looked too bad. I've still got them somewhere in a box. But I had to buy some standard tail lights for this car, and they're £114.50. Now, considering the lights that I bought were basically brand new as well, it is going back nearly 4 years this, but you ain't going to get a set of standard tail lights brand new for £114 now. Be careful when you're buying rear tail lights for the Evos. The studs do snap. I'd bought a set previously off a known JDM car breaker, and he sent them me and all the studs were snapped. So like, what use are they? I get into a bit of argy-bargy with him to get my money back, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, let's move on from that one. So then I got the phone call saying the car had arrived and I had to sort transport out. It cost me £285 to have the car delivered from Southampton, I think it might have been, up to my place of work at the time, up in Yorkshire. I didn't think that were too bad. It came on a big transporter. You can see the video. Like I say, all the videos on this car, there's a big playlist on it. It's in the link in the description below. So yeah, the transport was £285. I then had to buy some piggyback fuses for wiring the rear fog light in to get it through an MOT, which are £5.70. Safety with having an Evo, even though I always have a steering lock on it, I had to get a car alarm fitted just for peace of mind. I had a Cobra alarm fitted, and I think they'd been bought out off Vodafone. It's a really good alarm. It's never let me down, never had any false flags or anything like that. Sensors inside. The car's got remote central locking anyway on the key, but it works off the fob as well now. That was £220, which I didn't think were too bad. So once the car got its MOT and stuff, I had to send off get it registered. So the first reg fee was £55 at the time. That's probably gone up now. And the car tax was £137.25, and I know that's definitely gone up. This car's currently sawn because I'm not really using it. I've been getting work done on it and stuff. But yeah, the car tax has definitely gone up as well. So the next thing I wanted to swap out on this car from when it came from Japan was the exhaust. It's only like a bloody tractor. So I managed to get hold of Mitsubishi, which there was a dealership, Midgley Motor Group, which were brilliant. I rung them up and they managed to get me the middle section and the back box for the car, all standard. It made a hell of a difference once that car, when the exhaust got swapped over. There's like a flat section which I think causes like pressure build-up, which helps the car run better. I don't know how it all works, but that's how the engineers designed it. And once I put that standard exhaust on, it just sounded so much better. It's got a nice little purr to it, nothing too noisy or antisocial, and I think the car just sounds amazing as it does. That exhaust was £391.24. I've just had a quick scan down this list and noticed I've missed the catalytic converter off, so we just need to add a couple of £100 onto the end figure, I don't know why I've not added that to the spreadsheet. I must have been stressed at the time. If I look back on that video, I think it's when the old exhaust actually snapped as well. So yeah, that's probably why. Next on the list was some tailored carpet mats for the car. I made a stupid decision, and I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but I bought black with red trim when inside the car's purple. And they've annoyed me since I bought them. They've always been in the car. I just thought because it was red on the outside with the little stickers and stuff. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, they did not match inside this car. They look stupid. But yeah, they were £24.99. When this car was in storage at my work, something fell on the roof. I think it was just about here. It might not have happened at work actually. It might have actually been on the auction sheet. But yeah, there was a dent in the roof. So I spoke to the dent guy and he was like, no, Evo's a mint. You can get access to everything. I'll pop it out. And he came and popped a couple of dents out for me. So that was £40. The car had an aftermarket gear knob on it, which I didn't like. So I bought a Rally Art one off eBay. And to be honest with you, I think it's fake anyway. When it came in the box and all that stuff, it just felt a bit, yeah, I don't know, maybe the Rally Art ones were like that. But yeah, it felt a bit naff. But it's still on the car now and it looks better than the one that was on. That was £14.98. With me not wanting to convert this car into miles per hour, I wanted to keep it in kilometres per hour, which it still is, and it's still got the restrictor on it, which I think's about 115 mile an hour or something. I had to get a GPS speedo, which has never let me down. It's super accurate as well. That was £24.99. Next up was the alloy wheels. There was some corrosion on the original ones. I managed to find a set that had been freshly refurbished by Pristine Wheels. I can't tell you what a good job they did on these wheels, and it's such a shame because the guy who owned that, when you go on the website now, it looks like he's retired and doesn't do it anymore. Yeah, absolute spot on job, and they just sat in a box for ages because I wanted to get the car to a certain stage before I switched the wheels over. But the alloy wheels were £324. I ended up selling the old ones off this car in the condition they were in, needing refurbished, for actually more than that about a year ago. So they I kind of got new wheels for free almost and some money in my back pocket. So not long after this car was in the country, the clutch started slipping. It started slipping in first, I think, and just started working its way through the gears to the point where it almost became undrivable. The Evo VI clutches are rubbish. It's the only upgrade that I did on this car is I put an Evo 7 or 8 clutch and flywheel in it. Just for longevity, the miles better. It drove 10 times better as well after that had been done. But then when you're driving a car with a clutch slipping, anything feels better once that's done. But yeah, the clutch and flywheel was at £1,029.60. When I came to do the exhaust, I needed to buy some exhaust bolts from Mitsubishi, which were £13.74. I then bought some wiper blades all around for the car, which were £32. They could do replacing now. They're not too squeaky, but they are getting to a point where they will start being annoying soon. I then got the car in because the con was a bit noisy. And what they said was that the air con fan bearing had got play in it, which was making it rub through the condenser, which is why the air con had stopped working. I managed to get a used one of them in mint condition for £95 off eBay. That was the find of the century. That I know a lot of people do AC deletes and stuff, but at the time the car was in the workshop and you've got to find something. I went on eBay and literally it was just there, sat there, £95, bought it, got it put on. I managed to get a condenser for the car as well, a new one for £105.60. And then it was £120 labour to have it all fit. I used to get good rates because I used to work for a motor company. I was their IT and marketing manager. So I used to get, like, obviously staff rates. So it used to work out pretty beneficial to get the car booked in where I used to work for stuff like this. Anything major, I'd take it to AMD, but with stuff like that. But anyway, that sorted the air conditioning for a bit, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. So we had an ABS fault on the car, so I'll just go through what we've got on the list here. We've got a near side front ABS sensor, which was £45. We've got a near side rear ABS sensor, which was £105.49. We've got an offside rear ABS sensor, which is £105.49. We've got an near side front ABS ring, £14.98. ABS fault labour was £36 because he just swapped the sensors over for me, even though they're a pain. And near side rear ABS ring as well, which was £14.98. They're the same on each wheel. You just have to make sure you get the right tooth. So what happened were the ABS sensors seize in, stopped working, and then you have to drill them out. And when they were drilling them out, they caught the ABS rings, which weren't a problem. At first I thought I was going to have to get a full like ball joint end kind of thing, and sorry, a full CV joint. But then I noticed you could separate the rings, which was just a relief, because to get a CV joint from Mitsubishi was just mega money at the time, and yeah, it was making me feel sick. So we had all that ABS stuff done, and it ended up, I got the good sensors from Rossport. I sent the rubbish eBay one back, but I even still had a problem with a faulty Rossport one. Yeah, they changed it and stuff, but you just have to be careful. The ones from Mitsubishi are mega expensive. After that, I bought some caliper paint for £28.77, sorry, so £28.77. I didn't end up painting the calipers myself, but it's still a cost because it's sat there. I also bought some Brembo decals, which I didn't end up using, for £14.74. I think we're at December 2018 now, because the car goes in to have all the underneath restored. So I had the car stripped down underneath. I had any bit of welding needed doing that done, which was the rear chassis leg, rear arms. There was a bit in the footwells. There was a bit underneath. I had all the calipers restored and painted as well. AMD did all that work, and it was £1,540. So then I had the MOT done, and another sensor replaced, which was to replace a faulty one, and it was £46 for that. I then ended up having to buy an aircon compressor because the one that was on the car went. I bought original Mitsubishi sensor caps, which you can still get. It's worth buying some of them just to have them sat on a shelf, say yours get corroded. They were £52.58. I bought new badges for the car, which were front diamond, back diamond, and the Evo VI badge, because the jet wash had blasted half of it off, which is when I never took this car to a jet wash again. Sorry, like a car wash. The new badges were £105.64. When the car was in to have the compressor done, the used one that I bought, the belt tensioner, the auxiliary drive belt tensioner had seized. Again, with anything with these cars, it is mega money, but Rossport do their own brand of stuff. So I managed to get a belt tensioner. It was £225 with the belt. I got some new spark plugs for the car, which are £30.99. And then when it came to putting the alloys on, I swapped the tyres off the old wheels onto the new wheels, which cost me £48 to have them all swapped and balanced. I then bought an oil and filter for the car, which was £66.43, a video of me doing that. That included the tool for taking the filter off as well. I bought a new battery, which was £50.63 from Tanya Batteries, the best place you can buy them from. The MOT picked up that there was a drop link, I can't remember which side it were, that needed replacing. That was £25.80 from Rossport. I had the compressor fitted, which cost me £120, and I also got, I got the compressor fitted, which was £120. That compressor that I got fitted ended up to be knackered, so I ended up buying a refurbished compressor for another £120, and then that went into AMD Limited. They fit that compressor, and they also took the idle speed control valve off because I was having problems with it not idling when I first started it. It just cut out, but if you give it a blip on the revs, it'd catch up. So for them to fit that, it was £280. But the refurbished compressor that I got, even though they told me it was for an Evo VI, it wasn't, and it burnt the clutch out on that as well. But we'll get into that again in a minute. The next thing on the list, which was driving me insane, was the hydraulic lifters, or lashers, whatever you want to call them. I had that done on the car. I had some more work done in there with AMD Limited, but when that car came back after the lifters were done, it was just silent. It's so quiet, this car, it's amazing. So that was £440. It then came to me doing the AYC pump, and all I needed for that was just some instant gasket. I bought the actual tool for bleeding it up and stuff and testing it, which has £200, I think it were, or £150, but I've not included this because it's not to the car really, it's a tool that, so it doesn't count. And I got him to throw in the actual rebuild kit because I was going to do a video on it, and I'd put a link in the description and all that YouTubey stuff. So then, yeah, the instant gasket were £5. I bought some VHT flame-proof paint just to tidy up the exhaust heat shield, which cost me £11.42. AYC oil was £44.94. I then had to buy a fuel filler neck, idle speed control valve from Ross Sport. That was £357.48 for them two. Not cheap stuff, this, is it? It's not like working up forwards. I also bought new throttle seals and biz O-rings because I wanted all that doing when it went in with Dan. They were... Where's that gone? That was £37.98. I bought really expensive gear and rear diff oil because I wanted that doing it, and some more AYC fluid for when it went into AMD, and that was £87.94. Because I got Dan to double check the AYC pump. He got the car running hot and all that stuff, and to give it a second bleed, which I hadn't done, and loads more air come out. So he said it's absolutely spot on now. I bought a load of like black bolts for under the bonnet just to replace the ones that I got weathered over time, with this car being 20 years old, and that came to £20. All the paintwork and stuff and the ceramic coating, Robbo did me a massive favour with that, and that came to £600. The work I've just had done at AMD Limited, which was disc and pads all round, cam belt water pump, I keep forgetting about the water pump, disc and pads all round, cam belt water pump, rocker cover gasket, idle speed control valve being fit and new gasket, throttle body seals, biz valve, bleed the AYC pump up, what else were the fuel filler neck, I might have said that, and then there was the rear diff oil and gearbox oil, and you just give it a clean up underneath again, and that was £1,561. And then the last thing on the list is the carpet mats, because I've got them now, as you've just seen in the previous video, with the purple trim, which I should have done just 4 years ago, but they haven't gone up in price then. That was £24.95. So in total, I've bought the car for £9,080, and then I've spent £9,434.53. Now that has been over 4 years. It's not like I've just thrown money at this car. It's about £2.5 grand a year, but if you divide that over monthly, it's... Yeah, I've been spending like close to £200 a month since I bought it on this car, and it's like, it's definitely worth it. But when you actually look back and think, it's a bit of a shocker really. So the total for the car is £18,514.53 plus whatever the catalytic converter cost. So it's like, it's some chunk of money that. And like, I'll show you now with this folder. So it's like, it's got everything in here, everything I've ever spent, and then like all the restoration work and like all the old Jap stuff that came with it. But if you look here, I've kept every fuel receipt, and I've been to the fuel station 62 times in this car. Considering I've only done like 8,000 mile in it. Yeah, it's done just over 70,000 mile now. So yeah, I've done about 8,000 mile in it. And in total, because I counted up all the receipts, I've spent £2,083.80 fueling this car up, because I've only ever put V-Power in it. And worst case scenario, I had a Texaco garage where they did like a premium fuel. I'd use that, just like put a tenner in, and then as soon as I got to a Shell garage, I'd put some more V-Power in it. So if like you add the cost of the fuel onto the previous amount, it's £20,598.33 I've spent on this car. And like, it's like, I know it sounds like a lot of money, that, and a bit mad, but it's worth every single penny. The car's probably worth a little bit more than that as we sit here now, but that's basically what it's cost me to own, run. I've not included insurance or tax, because you're gonna have to pay that on any car, and it's not even been that expensive on this. This has probably been one of the cheapest cars I've ever had to insure. It's just bizarre. It costs more to insure the Berlingo than it does to insure this, and I know it's only because I put it down as 2,000 mile a year. It's in a secure unit and all that stuff, but still, it's still a bit of a joke, like. But yeah, that's the full running cost of what it's cost me to run this thing over the years. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and gives you an idea of what, because like this car was clean when it came from Japan as well, and I've still had to do all this to it, so it gives you an idea now. I spoke to Paddy the other day, and you're looking at about 20 grand to import one now that's in decent condition. They have gone up massively. They're going to go up again in another 3 years when America can get the Evo VI. You can start exporting them then, which is just going to push the price up even more, hopefully. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Just a bit of an insight one, a bit of a boring one really, me just sat here taking you through all the costs. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put the comments in the comment section below whether you think I'm mad or not for spending this kind of money on the car. But it's just an honest insight into what it's cost, because I always not moan, but like a lot of people go, oh yeah, I sold that car for 30 grand and I only paid 15 for it, and everyone's like, God, he made 15 grand, but it's like they don't tell you what they've actually spent, like to the penny. It's like sometimes I bet people don't even, they can sell a car for 30 grand, but I bet after they've had it resprayed, and they don't tell you the full extent of the cost of the car. And like for me there, if I got that back for this car, I've had it 4 years, and yeah, it's not been a lead balloon like a BMW M3 where it's just you buy it for 30 grand and it's worth 20. It's like if you can come out with just spending a couple of grand after a few years, I think you've done well. But anyway, less of the rabbiting on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.